inspirational to say the least. The more I've read about Sister Basha, the more I'm thinking, where does she find all the time? What's going on inside of her heart and her mind that motivates her to do this? And I'm talking about Sister Basha Swarathle-Tlhapane. Sister Basha, it's wonderful having you here. You're very welcome.
Good morning, Bradley, and a very good morning to your listeners as well.
So I have to ask, and there are accolades I've been sharing of yours through the course of the program, and we'll talk more about them now. You've achieved incredible things. You have a sash on, and what it says is Mrs. Universe South Africa, and one of the top 10 finalists. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. So with all of the things that you've accomplished, Basha, where did this start? I mean, is it from your parents that inspired you? Because for what you've achieved, you didn't just wake up one day and say, let's change South Africa and let's change the world.
I think everything else started from home. To those that knows me in my personal capacity are aware that I was raised from a very disadvantaged background, a very poor village, rural in Hammanskraal. And so most of the things I've had to work hard to get to. Yeah. And this includes the recognition of what was happening within my home, which is domestic violence. Oh, wow. That is something that I was exposed to from a very, very fair age. And now as an adult, I started realizing that, look, this was not just only a situation in my family, but it looks like it has been happening in many other homes. And this is where my passion came from. I am originally, of course, from Pretoria. And I came to Cape Town in 2007 to doing what is called full-time ministry with my husband. So we basically packed up the kids and everything else, and we came to Cape Town to pursue this ministry of being able to offer support to women and children. So I have been doing this since 2007. Yeah. And of course, during the course of time, I've had to now study theology. I had to do my 4 years nursing qualification. And now I'm currently in the process of finalizing my psychology qualifications.
So there's no rest for you because you're seeing possibilities and opportunities and you're equipping yourself to do what you believe God has called you to do.
100%. Because, I mean, at this point, by the time I realized that, women and children that are exposed to violence or any form of abuse within a home do require medical intervention, that's when I realized, look, it's important that I also empower myself because I wasn't even able to do not even a tip of the support that is needed in the community until I was learned myself, until I was fully in a position to can have that kind of a mandate to understand what exactly am I getting myself involved in. Yeah. And of course, we do recognize that ministry is ministry. We still pray with the women. We still do all this work that needs to be done. But at the end of the day, there is medical things that are also important. We need to recognize that there's addiction. We need to recognize that there's mental health conditions. We need to recognize that there's so many other forms that actually influences violence within a home. So, and that is basically where I'm at with the psychology part of things. Yes.
Yeah, that's starting to make sense to me. But the work you've been doing as part of your Sister Basha, the CSI project, where you're going out there and offering healthcare and education in the area of healthcare to women and children, moms. I mean, that decision for you to step into that gap where you're saying, there's need, but not everybody can afford what's needed. Tell us about that journey.
I think the bridge between private health care and also the care that is within the state, there's a bit of a bridge there that needs to be reached. In other words, that there's so many people out there that has a need, but they're not able to either be between. And what I mean by that is that we've got a lot of working class families that are not able to afford medical aids. And more so over when we first start off with giving support within the communities, we do recognize that we need to extend ourselves to being able to serve the people that can afford and the people that cannot afford. So no one gets excluded in the ministry support that we provide within communities.
I've got some numbers here in front of me, and I would love to share them just to give listeners an idea. It's one thing talking about the ministry and the heart you have for it, but there's also delivering the goods. And I've got something here in front of me. These are the stats for this year. We're halfway through December. So at Sister Basha CSI nonprofit organization, the Legacy Program for Girls, and we'll talk more about that, 568 pediatric social welfare cases dealt with, 503 pediatric medical cases, 244 successful pediatric surgeries, 472 girls mentored on your program, the Legacy Program, 18 school visits, 11 university visits, 39 community visits, a legacy camp, 8 GBV talks. Basha, God's given us all 24 hours in a day, but I think maybe He's given you more. I mean, this is quite something. I know you're not doing this on your own, but I mean, when you put your head on your pillow at night, it must be thank you, God, for the opportunity to change all of these people's lives.
100%. And I think it's because I recognized that there was a need in my life as a young girl who had dreams, a young girl that wanted to pursue and do so much, but yet I had so many limitations. And so practically the ministry is just opening doors for those that are not able to access, certain things like, as we've mentioned earlier, like medical intervention and issues like education, especially with the legacy program. So not only are we able to provide health care through counseling for the girls, but we're also able to support them throughout their schooling and also into higher learning institutions. So for me, it is humbling. Of course, I also have 24 hours in a day, which means there's a huge scrutiny with regards to how I plan my days, how I plan my weeks, my months, and a year. So already now in December, I already have a plan for 2024. So that means that in March, when the crowning is happening at the Mrs. Universe South Africa, all of that are within my plan. And I'm very, very disciplined when it comes to planning, which is why I'm able to achieve all of that.
I can see this. Let's talk, before we get to the Mrs. Universe, because, I mean, it's like you're looking lovely with your sash there. We can't not talk about that. But I just want to touch on the legacy program for girls. I mean, 472 girls mentored. I saw somewhere, and I was reading so much up about what you've been busy with. I saw, and I'm not sure, is it this coming year already, 600 girls registered? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. So what we do each and every end of the year, we sort of recruit girls from all different communities in South Africa. So we let the educators, through social media, of course, to know that we do have this program and what do we offer the girls. And so most of the girls do register. So we have their own number where it's their support system throughout the year. And through that number, we are able to allocate a multidisciplinary team to support the girls. So we've got registered counselors, we've got psychologists, psychiatrists, and these are professional men and women who are also sharing the same vision as I am and using their professional expertise to support our girls. So behind the scenes, we are able to still facilitate social welfare cases and graciously so be able to walk with the girls throughout their schooling years into higher learning, which is why you see we already have graduates there, university graduates.
Isn't this amazing? So quickly tell me, I mean, there's got to be a story of one of the girls that have come to you or sent you a message and said, this is what it's meant for me. Share one of those stories with us.
I think one of the stories that I really take pride in is one of our young girls from De Novo. It's in the farms, and she joined us when she was still in high school, and of course most of our girls come through as case numbers. There must have been something that has happened for them to end up with us, especially when we provide social intervention. And we walked through the journey of high school into University of the Western Cape. So April this year, we saw this young woman whom we met as fragile as anything walk the stage and graduate towards her BCom accounting. So that for me felt like a very proud moment. It was exciting, and I think for me it also validated what I've been wanting to achieve throughout the years. And of course I wasn't really given that opportunity to go to university in my earlier years because of poverty, because of abusing within my family that I have.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? And now you Mrs. Universe South Africa finalist. I mean, tell us that story. How did that happen? It's not something I imagine you just realized, hang on, what's going on here? This is obviously something very intentional.
It is very intentional. So last year in May, the 5th of May, I lost my mom to breast cancer. So, during that time when she was ill, I had a lot of thinking that I needed to make with regards to her life and sharing her legacy. And of course, she overcame quite a lot with my dad struggling with addiction and the issues that we had within our home structure. And I realized I needed to really create a legacy for what she has gone through and what she has been able to accomplish through us. And after everything else was said and done, she still fought it through. And she is such a motivation. And when I heard that Mrs. Universe South Africa, their mandate is supporting women that are affected by gender-based violence and also children as well. And I said, okay, that's where I need to just jump in because this is it. This is my moment to be able to tell her story, because she has lived to create someone like me. And it means that if anything else, she has really done a very good job, and I'm very proud of her.
Wow, what a beautiful story. This is, your heart is just so obvious to see. Someone has messaged here on our system and said, Oh my, a very busy lady with a beautiful, passionate heart, and amen to that. So when is the grand finale?
It's next year in March, the
Okay.
17th. It's going to be in Johannesburg. And for those that would like to support me,
Yes.
they're more than welcome to DM me or just send me a message, and I'll be able to secure their seat so that they can come and witness this special moment.
That's amazing. How do we follow your journey in general, what you're up to? And if someone's got some questions, say, hang on, I know someone, or me myself, I would love for a family member to be part of the Legacy program if possible. How can people find out more?
All right, so I'm quite active with my team on social media. So if they go into Instagram, Twitter, and also I think it's Facebook.
Yes.
If they go to Sister Basha, they'll be able to just almost get about all the work that we are doing, because most of my profile and information is there.
Yes.
Or they can visit my website. It's sisterbasha.co.za, and they will be able to find all our contacts.
Yes, I've had the privilege over the last few days, since I knew we were going to be meeting today, to work through all of those platforms. You will not be left for wanting. There will be everything you need to read and know about what's going on. So on a day like today, where you've come to spend some time on radio and you're looking fabulous and you have your sash on, what does the rest of the day look like for you?
The rest of the day is looking as spectacular as that young man behind you graduating today. So from here onwards, we're going to be heading to the university where he's going to be given his DR title officially.
Yes.
And he's my firstborn son. And one of those moments where I feel like, as a mother, I've really sort of held my end.
Well, isn't that really what this is all about? It's one thing. You've just spoken about your mom, and here you are, and now you've inspired your firstborn son, and now this is the generation. Isn't this just the legacy that you've been talking about?
100% the legacy, because I
Yeah.
believe that even when the Lord laid it heavy in my heart to be able to go out there and put myself out there, it was more along the lines of being able to serve and God really taking care of my family. Because a lot of people tend to think, but is your family not affected when you're this busy? I mean, 1 minute you're in Sandton in your rooms in Johannesburg, and 1 minute you're in Cape Town.
Yeah.
How do you really manage this? And I always tell them, I always prioritize on doing the work of the Lord, so the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah.
And I think this is why you are able to see both my sons being in this space where they are academics themselves and also serving fully, because at the moment they're also in full-time ministry themselves. And this is what really fills my heart with such a lot of joy, that in the midst of everything, there was healing that happened. And this healing came through serving. And that's basically the reason why we are celebrating today.
Yeah. Congratulations, young man, standing here behind me. I'm sure you can see him. You would have spotted him at some point on the cameras walking around the studio, and so you should. What a pleasure meeting the family and Sister Basha Swarathle-Tlhapane. Everything of the best for you as you pursue not only this, which is just, how can I say, it's just fleeting, and then it's somebody else's turn, but the legacy, the stories, the family, and all the touched lives. It's been an honor having you in the studio. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your passion, and all the best to you. Many blessings in every single thing that you pursue. God is using you so mightily to do incredible things in this nation, and what a pleasure to spend these moments with you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Sisterbasha.co.za. You can find on all of